The Sunday of Week 2, based on Psalm 27. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When evildoers assail me to devour my flesh, my enemies and foes, they shall stumble and fall. Though an army encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war rise up against me, yet will I be confident. One thing I asked of the Lord, that will I seek after, to live in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire in his temple. For he will hide me in his shelter in the day of trouble. He will conceal me under the cover of his tent. He will set me high on a rock. Now my head is lifted up above my enemies all around me, and I will offer in his tent sacrifices with shouts of joy. I will sing and make melody to the Lord. Hear, O Lord, when I cry aloud. Be gracious to me and answer me. Come, my heart says, seek his face. Your face, Lord, do I seek. Do not hide your face from me. Do not turn your servant away in anger, you who have been my help. Do not cast me off. Do not forsake me, O God of my salvation. If my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will take me up. Teach me your way, O Lord, and lead me on a level path because of my enemies. Do not give me up to the will of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen against me, and they are breathing out violence. I believe that I shall see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord. Look for him and wait for him. Those are the two key Lenten messages that come out of this psalm. Come on, the psalmist says to his own heart, seek his face. Isn't this strange? Isn't God always available? Why do we have to work hard at looking for him? God is gracious and longs to be found by people of all sorts and at all times. But God does not put himself about as a mere item of curiosity, a show for the spiritual tourists, so that anyone can pop in and glance at him, shrug their shoulders, and walk away. You have to want to go looking for him, so that when you find him and know you're in his presence, it's a thing of awe and joy and wonder, a demanding and challenging, but also warming and healing presence that gives you the strength you need. And looking for him takes time. You have to wait as well as look. We are familiar with the story of the eager European settler setting off into the African bush, followed by Africans carrying his baggage. After 2 or 3 days, the followers refuse to go any further for a while. They aren't tired, they explain. They are waiting for their souls to catch up. Well, I think God is a bit like that. We want results now. A recent advertisement for a new mobile phone shouts that impatience is a virtue. It isn't. It's a vice. A damaging one to human relationships, and still more damaging to our relationship with God. Looking for God and waiting for God are important, not least because we are surrounded by enemies. They may sound almost paranoid. We want to ask the psalmist, who are these enemies? What's the problem? Why don't you thank God for your friends instead of worrying about people being out to get you? Part of the answer is that David, the original psalmist, spent much of his life surrounded by all sorts of enemies. Philistines, Saul and his followers, other foreign nations, and then darkly enemies within his own family. But David's experience acts as a signpost to the fact that anyone who wants to seek God and wait for him will face struggles of various kinds. Sometimes other people will resent what you're doing or criticize you. Even in our supposedly free society, some people so hate the Christian message that they make it impossible for Christians to hold down particular jobs. Then there are the other enemies, the accusing and wheedling and mocking voices within our own heads and hearts. These often become just that bit louder when, in Lent and at similar times, we set ourselves to seek God and to wait for Him. Today, this is the psalm you need when those voices start to become threatening, and you need to remind yourself where your real stronghold lies. The prayer, Lord, be my light and my salvation, today, this week, and forever.